guys, welcome back to Jessin Reads Romance. I'm Jessin, and today I'm going to be talking about all the books that I want to read in December. Before we jump in, I want to show you something really quickly because I supported a Kickstarter. I saw these pins and I just had to have them. They're cozy, wintry themed, and I thought it was perfect to show off for the December TBR, and I just got them in, and I'm really excited about them. So these pins are from Emily Harvey. I've never had any pins by her, but I saw her whenever I was doing my Kickstarter, and I was like, I need these pins. They're so cute. I love cozy vibes. You guys know that I'm missing that in my life in Louisiana, though it's been really cold right now, which I'm loving. But yeah, I just had to have these pins. Here is actually her card. Oh, look, she has like her little girl. Focus. There we go. Little girl, and then Emily Harvey. In case you guys want to go check her out, I'm sure, yeah, she has like an Etsy store. Yeah. Okay, so everyone in the Kickstarter, since all the pins were unlocked, got a free enamel pin, which is this little snowflake. It's a gold snowflake. It's so pretty. And then I really like this one. This is a little letter and it says, "Miss you." I love it. So cute. I love this one. This one's sweater weather. Look how cute. This sweater on a coat hanger. I love. Absolutely love it. And then my favorite one of all is Hug in a Mug. Look how adorable. I love it. It's so cute. Oh, and I forgot, Ollie got groomed and he's super fluffy. He's usually really kinky curly, and he needed to get groomed really bad because his port ears had mats in them that I could not get out myself. So he went to the groomer and he's super fluffy. He looks like a cotton ball, and I'm grabbing him right now to show you. Look at the fluff. Look at the fluff. He's so cute. Ollie. He like does not, he wants to look everywhere but the camera. He's a fluffy boy. Look at his fluffy hair. It's so cute. And I don't know if you guys can see, but he has like a little holly bandana. He's just so cute and fluffy, and I just love him. He's my baby. Okay, you can go lay down in peace. Good boy. Okay, he's gonna lay down. Let's get to the books. So first of all, I am participating in the Binging Bridgerton readathon, and we have like the second half of the readathon to do for December. So I'll be reading To Sir Philip with Love, which was one of my favorite ones in the series. When He Was Wicked, It's in His Kiss, and On the Way to the Wedding. So those are the Bridgertons that we have left. I'm so excited to talk about it. I cannot wait to talk about To Sir Philip with Love. I just absolutely love it. Then I have my podcast reads, the books that we reread or read for the first time in December. Normally it's rereads for me, and Juliet is a first time reader of some of these books. I have an interesting thing that happened in December. I'll get to that in a minute. So the first one was Wolf Song. It's already out. Next week is My Darling Duke by Stacey Reid. Stacey Reid is a new to me historical romance author, and I really love her writing. I own a couple of her books. The only one that I've read is My Darling Duke, but oh my god, it's so good. I can't wait to talk about it on the podcast. We're actually recording it this afternoon, so I'm really excited about it. Now here's where it gets interesting. I put this book on the podcast. I've never read Beautiful Bastard before. I actually started reading Christina Lauren with Love in Other Words, Josh and Hazel's Guide to Not Dating, The Unhoneymooners, which we've done on the podcast, but I've never read the Beautiful Bastard series. So I put it on the podcast and I'm like, I'm going to read it. I usually vet books before we actually do it because we only do positive reviews on the podcast. And I didn't get a chance to read Beautiful Bastard. I already announced it. We're doing it, and I just read it, and it's very interesting. I really want to focus the podcast review on like the difference in writing style that Christina and Lauren started out with and what they do now. So I think that's how we're going to do that. I don't know. And then the final book for December is Chasing Cassandra. We did a lot of Lisa Kleypas's this year, and I really wanted to do it right whenever it came out, but we had just done some Lisa Kleypas reviews. So I was like, we'll just wait until December. But I really love Tom and Cassandra. They're super cute. I really like them as a couple, so I had to put it on the podcast. So those are the books that we're reviewing in December, and you can go check us out. Then for our Patreon exclusive review, the book that was voted on and won, which I'm really excited about, is The Winter King by C.L. Wilson. It's fantasy, though the cover actually looks historical. Look how cool. I love it. So I'm really excited about it. It's quite a long book. It's almost 600 pages, but I'm super excited. It's kind of like a buddy read. So I'm really glad that this one won. I did specify that this month would be fantasy. I don't know why. I think Crystal said this too. I read more fantasy and stuff like that in the wintry months. Next is the new release for December, and it actually doesn't even come out until the very end of December, December 29th. And it's the second book in the Sinful Wallflower series by Stacey Reed. My Darling Duke is the first one, and Her Wicked Marquess is the second book in the series. I'm super excited about this, and I really love this cover. It's so pretty. I love the red dress. It just gave me a lot of vibes. And I actually thought that the second book would be about Charlotte. She was mentioned a lot, but this one's actually about Marianne. And the whole premise of the Sinful Wallflowers is that they're on the sidelines, they're in the background, but they all want to be married, so they decide to do something wicked to like get their way. In the first book, she claims that she's engaged to this reclusive duke that like hasn't come to London in like 7 years because she wants to help elevate her family status and wants her sisters to make good matches, so she was just kind of like borrowing his connection. So she made a claim in like the society papers that, yes, I'm engaged to the duke that everyone speculates about all the time, and it's really fun. In this book, the society papers are speculating about this Marquess who is seen at a house party like going out a window, like escaping the party through a window, and one of the wallflowers claims that, oh, it was actually my bedroom because she's betrothed to like a really old man. She does not want to marry him, so she claims like, oh, that was actually my window because she wants to be ruined. There's also, I think, a little bit of a deal that they come to terms with, the Marquess and the wallflower, so I'm really excited to see how this all plays out. I just find this premise in the series really fascinating, and I really like Stacey Reed's writing style. Next, I have More Than Words by Mia Sheridan. I really want to read more Mia Sheridan's. The only one that I've read is Archer's Voice, and I loved it so much. So she's been on my radar for a while, and when there was a sale going on at Better World Books, I was like, yep, I'm getting it. So I got More Than Words. I think it's a second chance romance. It was kind of like a childhood crush, and then the hero disappears for a while, and years later he pops up as this like famous composer, and they run into each other in France, I believe, and he's been kind of like drowning his sorrows, and when he meets the heroine again, it's like, oh, my muse, and so they kind of reconnect again, and so I'm really excited about this. As you guys know, I really fell in love with Wolfsong this year, and T.J. Klune is such a phenomenal writer. I needed to go read some other books by him, so of course I want to pick up The House in the Cerulean Sea. I heard Jessica talking about this book. I really love the cover, and I think that premise is super interesting. There's this like island for this orphanage of like dangerous magical children. I think there's like 6 children in all. One of the heroes is like higher ups in like the magical world, and I think he gets called in to go check out this island, and it's a romance between him and like the caretaker of the island, or like the caretaker of the children. I'm really excited about it. I don't want to read too much into it because I like to be surprised. If it's half as good as Wolfsong and that whole entire series, I know I'm gonna love it. A couple weeks ago, I did like a historical vlog, and one of the books that I read was My Last Duchess by Eloisa James, and it's a prequel for her The Wilds of Lindo Castle. I think that's the series name. Wild in Love is the first one. I think I've already said that I absolutely love this cover. I love him like coming out looking kind of drenched with like his shirt all open. It's just really cool, and I think the hero is Alaric, which is not one of the children that we meet in My Last Duchess because he was at school, and in this book he returns home from like years abroad, and apparently he's like this really like famous celebrity, almost celebrity in the time he's always written about in the newspapers, and he like kind of wants to escape that notoriety, and he meets the heroine whose name is Willa, and I think that she puts on a front of like this calm, cool, and collected lady, but like she does not want to mess with Alaric. She's like, Willa's like, no, I don't need this in my life. I don't want all of your spotlight. So, and I think she's like bookish and a little bit bawdy too, and I like that kind of combination of like kind of nerdy but also very bold and brash. So we'll see if I like it, and I hope I do. Now I'm jumping around a little bit in Lorraine Heath's backlist, but that's okay. We did a book for our November Patreon exclusive review, and that was the first book in the Hellions of Havisham series, and it's kind of a spin-off from this one, The Scoundrels of St. James. I've already read the first book in the Scoundrels of St. James series, that's In Bed with the Devil. I really loved it, but for some reason I didn't immediately continue on to the second book. It's Between the Devil and Desire, and this is the story of the parents of the heroine from the first book in the Hellions of Havisham series. So it's kind of interconnected, and the hero is a gaming hell owner and the heroine is a widow. So I really like widow romances. Don't tell me why. I just like second chance at love, not second chance romance, second chance at like love. And I can't remember, I don't think she was in love with her husband though. So it doesn't matter. I want to read a widow romance, and I already love Jack, so I can't wait to read this one. Then I'm jumping back into the Hellions of Havisham series to wrap it all up so I can read the third book in the series, because I've read the first and the second, and now I want to read the Viacount and the Vixen. And this premise sounds so much fun. I just cannot wait to jump into it. So our hero is Viacount. Well, he's not the Viacount yet because his father is still alive, and his father, you meet him in the first books and he's a little bit mad, and he's been put in charge of these orphans. At the beginning of Falling into Bed with the Duke, there was this big train accident and a lot of people died. So we focus on the heroes of this series. They were orphaned because their parents were all on there, and they were sent to this Marquess, and he was like the Mad Marquess. Oh yeah, that's so true. That does make the son the Viscount because he has like a lesser title of his father. Anyway, so Locksley is the final hero of this series, and his father is the Mad Marquess. And he has been pining after his wife, who died years and years and years ago, and he's kind of a little bit cuckoo. He like wanders around he barely has any servants at his home. He just kind of let everything fall into disrepair. So what I find interesting is that apparently he agrees to marry this lady. So he's been pining for his dead wife for years, then all of a sudden he agrees to marry this lady. And Locksley is like, oh no, nobody's gonna be taking advantage of my dad. Like, he's not all there. And he falls in love with the heroine. And the heroine was driven to like desperate measure to like get herself engaged to the Marquess. I don't know her backstory. I don't know what has made her so desperate as to like agree to this marriage, but her and Locksley end up by falling in love for this book, and I'm so excited to read. I think that that's going to be a fascinating one. I really love these like very interesting plot lines that's like a little bit forbidden, and Lorraine Heath does that really well, like that sort of forbidden romance. I love it. And then I want to read A Promise and a Kiss by Stephanie Lawrence. This is a prequel for the Sinster series. The Sinster series is a series that I've been loving forever. I had no idea that Devil's mom had a story, and I'm so excited to read it. I'm so excited. And this is very snowy, wintry vibes. I just cannot wait to read about Helen as like this young debutante and falling in love with this like crazy Sinster. So I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. And for my final book, I'm doing something a little bit different. I'm really inspired by Crystal from Crystal's Bookish Life, how she is trying to read a lot of the books that she bought for Step Back Saturday. I have a ton of them that I have. I'm just like collecting a lot of the old 80s and 90s romances and books with like really pretty step backs, and I need to read these books. So what I decided to do is pick randomly out of my stash of books 12 books to put in a cup and to pick a title to read for this month. And I'm gonna add like another title in each month to like try to get myself to read these books. And by the rate that I buy these books from eBay, it's not even gonna put a dent in it, but at least I'm going to start reading these books. In no particular order, these are the books that are going to be in the running, and they'll stay in the cup. I'm not gonna remove them. I'm not gonna change them up every single month. They're just gonna stay and they're gonna have a chance. So I just wanted to show you guys real quick the books that I grabbed. So for the first one, I have a Madeline Baker. It's Beneath the Midnight Moon, and I really like the step back. I'll show you real quick. Has a wolf in the background. I think it's very interesting. I'm not reading the synopsis for these. I'm just going to put them in the jar. Then we have a Donna Fletcher book, which is The Angel and the Highlander. I've never heard of Donna Fletcher before. I really do like this book cover. It's really, really cool, really interesting, and I really love Highlander romances. Next we have Lord of the Wolves by Heather Graham, and Heather Graham also writes under Shannon Drake. This one has Barbarian step back. I think he might be a pirate too. Anyway, we'll find out if it's picked. We'll find out eventually. Next is A Lady Chosen by Stephanie Lawrence, and this is the first book in the Bastion Club series. It's the more recent series that she's written. Sinsters are older, and I think Bastion Club. Or maybe not. Maybe she writes them simultaneously and I completely flipped that. Doesn't matter. We'll see. I like Stephanie Lawrence, so I'm really excited to start like a new series by her. The Lion's Lady by Julie Garwood has a really pretty metallic cover. Really excited. I love Julie Garwood. She was an amazing discovery that happened this year with all the booktubers starting to read Julie Garwood. The Secret was just so good. Next we have Splendor by Brenda Joyce. This was interesting. Whenever I just like pulled this one out, I was like, ugh, because I read Captive by Brenda Joyce earlier this year and it was very problematic. Like, and I go into these books, these older books, knowing that it's gonna be problematic, and I'm able to set that aside and just kind of like enjoy the romance anyway. But Captive was a lot to handle and I was just like, I just didn't like it. So we'll see about Splendor. I don't know. And then we have A Pirate's Love. I'm really glad that I picked this one up, and it's probably because it was red. I was just like, red. whenever I was picking through the shelves, and I've never read a Joanna Lindsey before. I have a lot of hers right now, and I still have not read them, and this was actually sent by Vanessa, so I'm really excited that I picked this one, and it's gonna like remain in the cup if it's not chosen this round. And yeah, pirate romances, always a good deal. Elisa Kleypas' book, Love Come to Me. This is one of her first books that was written, maybe the second one that she wrote. I think Where Passion Leads, the elusive one that I cannot find without it being like over $100. That one was the first one, but I think this one's the second one, so we'll see. And this is the one with the really big stash in the back. It's really funny. Hilarious. Oh, this is the second Heather Graham. It's fine. Second Heather Graham, Rebel. I already picked one for her. I didn't realize that I picked her twice. For this, I would have like replaced it just to have like all different authors, but it doesn't matter because if I just pick a random book to put in the cup, I'm going to get the same authors because I've gotten a lot of lots by the same author. Anyway, Rebel by Heather Graham. I really, really, really like this step back. Why is it so hard? She's wearing leather pants. I do remember that. Love. Next is The Raven Prince. This is a book that I actually got recently in like a whole lot of Elizabeth Hoyt books, and I do remember that this is a scarred hero. I really love those. Then we have Rebel by Beverly Jenkins. I've been meaning to read this book for so long, and I was like, I have to put this one in here. I saw it and I was just like, it's going in there no matter what. And then The Pirate and the Pagan by Virginia Henley. I'm really excited about this. Virginia Henley has some of my favorite old 80s, 90s covers, and yeah, The Pirate and the Pagan was the one that I had trouble finding, but I did find it, and I'm really excited. So I have all of the titles written in this mug, like they're all written on pieces of paper. It's gonna kind of like, I mean, I didn't put them in any particular order. Okay, let's see. I'm not cutting any of this out, so I'm gonna close my eyes too. Okay. Oh! It won't focus. Hold on one second. I'm gonna get into focus because it won't do it. Splendor by Brenda Joyce. Where is it? Why? This is the one I'm reading. Okay. Universe, are you laughing at me? Okay, I did want to read what it was about before I like signed off with this video. This is going to be a little bit longer for a TBR video. I'm sorry about that. I won't show these books off every time I do a TBR video. I'll just like pick from the mug and that's it. Okay, so this says, she plays a dangerous game. Carolyn Brown was a poor bookseller's daughter and an enlightened thinker, delighting London with her scathingly witty columns, written under the name of Charles Copperfield. Cool. Penetrating the Times gilded saloons in male disguise. Okay, I already really like this one a lot better than the captive premise. She's pretending to be a guy. This is so awesome. She throws her barbs at the wrong man, the enigmatic Russian prince, Nicholas. Can't pronounce that last name, but I will learn to say it because I like to say Russian last names. They're fun to me. He's notorious and indulgent. His disregard for social convention fueled Carolyn's outrage, and he's moved through the balls and soirees of high society effortlessly, and he's a natural target of gossip, envy, and desire. But he's furious to find himself lampooned by Copperville and quickly discovers Carolyn's dearly held secret. Now as the two spar, a new game begins, a game of deception and pride and longing and chance. Interesting. Okay, I might like this one better. So I'm kind of excited about it now. Alright guys, that's all that I have for you today. If you like this video, give it a big thumbs up. And if you're not already subscribed to my channel, make sure that you subscribe to get notified on any future videos that I do. Thank you so much for watching. Remember, life's better with a little HEA. Bye guys.